This is ABC 7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us and staying up late with us tonight. The morning continues after the Orlando nightclub massacre claims the life of 49 people in the worst mass shooting in U.S. history and worst terror attack on U.S. soil since 9/11. As Orlando tries to cope, many questions remain about the gunman and the FBI previously having questioned him.
Thousands in Orlando standing in solidarity.
We know that love trumps hate.
And paying tribute.
Leroy Valentine Fernandez, Tevin Eugene Crosby.
To the victims.
Alejandro Barrios Martinez.
All 49 people killed inside the Pulse nightclub early Sunday now identified. Their families getting the heartbreak news as some of the survivors and their families share the horror that unfolded in those 3 hours of terror.
He was there. Some of them were actually hiding underneath the dead bodies.
The killer, Omar Mateen, pledging his allegiance to ISIS during the attack. The FBI raiding his home, now going through his digital records to figure out how he was radicalized. Though he was interviewed by the FBI 3 times for possible links to terror, he was not deemed a threat and allowed to buy the handgun and assault rifle used in the attack legally.
I don't see anything in reviewing our work that our agents should have done differently.
And ABC News has learned Mateen may have scouted other potential locations for his attack, including nearby Disney properties. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Orlando.
Thank you, Marcy. An incredible show of support in downtown Sarasota this evening. Thousands turning out for a candlelight vigil to honor and remember the people who lost their lives in Orlando early Sunday morning. The 49 killed included one of Sarasota's very own. ABC 7's Rick Adams was at tonight's emotional event and has more.
49 young lives lost, and all of them and those injured honored on Monday night. Thousands of people, young and old, straight and gay, came together as one during a candlelight vigil at 5 Points Park in downtown Sarasota.
Tonight we're trying to create a safe space and bringing everyone together so we can support one another and embrace moving forward and raising awareness to create change.
One of the lives lost in the Orlando massacre was Sarasota resident Edward Sotomayor. His friend gave an emotional speech to the large crowd, as did Sotomayor's boss. This is a tragedy that hits very close to home.
Completely shattered, heartbroken, heavy heart. You know, thoughts go out to their families, their friends, their lovers, and the rest of the LGBT community.
Many who attended Monday night's vigil believe a night like this is so important for the Suncoast on the heels of what is now known as America's deadliest mass shooting ever.
I think it will help heal within the community here. I don't know how much it's going to touch the families of victims in that. I hope it does.
The Harvey Milk Festival is the group that organized this event. It's an event that touched the lives of a lot of people.
Hope that people aren't afraid of who they are, that they can be who they are and shine the light and not be scared.
Well, this large crowd here at 5 Points Park are having their voices heard loud and clear. They will not put up with terrorism or hatred. Reporting from downtown Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Rick. Vigils and events to remember the dead and pray for the victims in the hospital have been far-reaching. The streets of New York City packed today. Governor Andrew Cuomo called on crowds to celebrate gay pride and to reject the Orlando attacker's hateful message. Phoenix residents are standing in solidarity for the victims and families touched by this tragedy. And a similar scene in London, thousands of people showing their support for Orlando. These are just a few of the many vigils taking place across the country, across the world, with the resounding sentiment being unity. And we want to share more on Edward Sotomayor Jr., the Sarasota native who was one of those 49 people tragically shot and killed. This is a Snapchat video he took just moments before the shooting. The 34-year-old, known as Top Hat Eddie, is well known and well liked among the gay and lesbian community as a promoter of LGBT events. Sotomayor grew up in Sarasota and attended Booker High School. He was a national brand manager at Al & Chuck Travel Agency. Eddie's loved ones describe him as positive and friendly.
You can see him all over social media today, where people are changing their profiles to top hats, and they're posting pictures of him. And I mean, thousands and thousands of people are doing that. It's a reflection of what a great spirit and a person he was.
Socially, he was a social butterfly. Everyone knew Eddie, and he was such a beautiful soul.
Ferguson says he believes Eddie may have helped save his partner's life because when the shooting happened, Eddie was inside and texted his partner, who was outside, helping the manager load supplies for the club. He says Eddie told his partner to not come back inside. And Eddie Sotomayor Jr. was among the first victims to be identified by authorities following Sunday morning shooting. The city of Orlando has been releasing the names after first notifying each respective family. All 49 have now been identified. They range in age from 19 to 50. Retail workers, accountants, bartenders, journalists, students, their lives all cut short in a hate-filled terrorist attack. Tonight, we're hearing from their friends, their family, along with survivors.
We shouldn't be unifying in hate. We should be unifying in love.
I'm going to forever miss my son, but I've been taught to believe that my son knew the Lord Jesus Christ, and so I still have the hopes that I'm going to see him again one day.
How a person can do that to someone they don't know, like they don't know anything about you, and you just walk into a building and you just go, and you change people's lives, you know, so much, and it's unreal. It's unreal.
We're standing up and we're fighting. So that's all we can do. All we can do is fight.
The mass shooting taking place at a gay nightclub during Pride Month. Many in the LGBT community say this was not only an act of terrorism, but a hate crime as well. The owner of the Starlight Room, a Sarasota venue for many LGBT events, has security cameras scattered throughout his club. He is now looking at other forms of security to make his patrons feel safe.
I will have some people come in that nobody's going to know that is security, and I'll hire them to come in and help out on Friday nights and anytime we have any kind of an event.
Governor Rick Scott remained in Orlando today after issuing a state of emergency yesterday. What that does is allow for whatever additional resources are needed in the city. He has also activated the Florida Disaster Fund, which provides financial support to organizations that help survivors and their families. You can contribute by going to floridadisasterfund.org.
My goal is to make sure that we're as transparent as we can, especially with the families, to get them all the information they have and let them figure out how they're going to grieve, because they're going to grieve. But also make sure we share all these services. We're a wonderful state. We have so many people coming here, and they like to come here because our amusement parks, our beaches, our wonderful people, our restaurants, and all these things. And so we have to, as a country, always think about how do we share information, how do we make sure this doesn't happen again.
We've learned tonight that President Obama will travel to Orlando this Thursday to pay his respects to the families affected by the attack. And in other news tonight, 3 farm workers were struck by lightning in Manatee County, leaving 1 dead. The sheriff's office says the 3 were loading up a truck at Faulkner Farm off of State Road 64 when a storm came through. All 3 were struck by lightning. A 47-year-old who has not been identified was pronounced dead at the hospital, while the 2 other workers were treated and released. And Bob, we talk about lightning safety all the time. You have more information on that for us tonight.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier tonight, too, as a result of all the storms blowing up. So far, 5 deaths across the United States, and typically there are about 51 deaths each year. So far, 1 in Louisiana, 1 in Mississippi, and now 3 in Florida. By the way, last year, 2015, there were 3 total for the entire season. And now in Manatee County, also into Martin County and Palm Beach County, earlier, 3 gentlemen loading trucks there into Manatee County. We just talked about it. As far as the Titan radar picture goes, for that particular area, we did have some storms around. Those storms really blew up in about 20 minutes. That's all it takes, is about 20 minutes for lightning to generate. So during this time of year, if you start to see some rain falling or some storms building, pretty much in 20 minutes there'll be some lightning associated with it, especially those storms that are inland. Right now, a live sweep of the radar not showing any rainfall around. We've had over 1 inch of rain, nearly 2 inches just east of Lakewood Ranch, and now 1.25 inches down near Inglewood. That's the total today. Most of it falling east of I-75. We're looking for more of that action again tomorrow, with the bulk of the precipitation occurring east of I-75. Look at this, the heat index even at this hour at 91 degrees under fair skies, temperature at 83, the dew point is at 76, and winds are out of the west-northwest at 7. We'll talk about more energy coming our way, not so much tomorrow, but later on down the week. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Presidential candidates are addressing Sunday's terror attack. Presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump scrapped a long-planned speech targeting Hillary Clinton to instead address the shooting and speak about terrorism. He called what happened in Orlando a very dark moment in American history.
We express our deepest sympathies to the victims, the wounded, and their families. We mourn as one people for our nation's loss and pledge our support to any and all who need it.
Presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton was in Cleveland today, tabling what she had planned to speak about at a rally to also address the shooting.
We should take a moment today amid our busy lives to think about them, to pray for everyone who was killed, for the wounded, those who are fighting to regain their lives and futures, for our first responders who walked into danger one more time.
Clinton and Trump had very different responses in terms of what can possibly be done about tragedies like this. Trump said what happened Sunday justifies his previous call for a ban on Muslims entering the U.S. The shooter, however, in Sunday's terror attack was an American born in New York to Afghan parents. The former Secretary of State, meanwhile, said she would make stopping so-called lone wolf attacks a priority, and she said someone who is being watched by the FBI for suspected terrorist links should not be able to purchase a firearm. And Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders says it is bigotry to blame an entire religion on the terrorist act of one person. The Libertarian candidate for president, Gary Johnson, posted on Facebook saying, quote, in part, "Our thoughts must be with the victims, and that it is not a time to either politicize or jump to conclusions." Blood and plasma donors were greeted by a packed lobby and a line out the door at Suncoast Blood Bank today. Because some victims of the Orlando shooting may have to endure multiple surgeries, there's still a great need for people to roll up their sleeves and donate blood and plasma.
I'm here today. Is this just the right thing to do? I try to come quarterly, donate.
You never know when something like this is going to happen, and we need to be prepared, which means don't just give when something like this happens. Give all the time. Give when you can.
Suncoast Blood Bank is in Sarasota, Manatee, Charlotte, and DeSoto counties. If you would like to donate, all Suncoast Blood Bank donor facilities will be open tomorrow at 8 a.m. JetBlue is also lending a helping hand, offering free seats on flights to and from Orlando for immediate family and partners of the victims. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the official Suncoast forecast. Plus, a new children's clinic coming to the Suncoast that will serve children in a certain area of Sarasota County. And the end of a dredging project on Siesta Key, how it was affected by Tropical Storm Colin.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
Plus, New South windows are made in Florida.
Ford Florida Homes.
By Florida workers.
Because we know Florida weather.
Bring your measurements this Saturday from 9 to 4 to get huge discounts. New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. Introducing ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community. With a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast. On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our Sarasota office. And don't forget to watch the House to Home Show every Saturday night here on ABC7. It's simple. We just market your home better.
It's time again for My Suncoast's Bark in the Park with the Bradenton Marauders at McKechnie Field. Bring your best friend with you to the ballpark for Yappy Hour, benefiting the Humane Society of Manatee County, June 16th at 6:30. Visit BradentonMarauders.com for info. Sponsored by ABC7.
Well, Bob, it's so upsetting to hear about these lightning strikes.
Right.
One death in Manatee County.
Yeah, one death, Manatee County, already up to 3 in the state of Florida, and we're actually approaching July 4th is the most active time for lightning deaths, and so we're not even there yet. And we have 3 deaths in Florida. Last year there were already 3 deaths, in fact, for the entire year. So we're already above that. So be careful. These storms can develop and pop up and actually generate lightning in 20 minutes. So you don't want to be around when that was happening, obviously outdoors. George Wagner sending this one in. Storms trying to make it to the coast. We had a little bit of rainfall near the water, and a beautiful shot it was, though, as those clouds were around. Fred Seeger getting this one on Siesta Key, and a beautiful shot with many different colors out there. Get a look at the rainfall as it moved into near Lakewood Ranch, right around 5:30 or so. You can see that large area of rain kind of blowing on through quickly, and it did produce some heavy rainfall, especially east of Lakewood Ranch. Over an inch reported there. The radar picture not showing anything going on now. It's all quiet and should stay that way for the most part throughout much of the morning. There's a chance for a few light showers developing along the sea breeze front as it starts to move inland late morning, early afternoon west of I-75, and then most of the action should be inland tomorrow afternoon. But nothing going on there now as far as that goes, and looks like we had some rain at the airport earlier, but that has since moved on, and showers that were around Manatee County have also moved on. There's still a flood warning in effect for parts of DeSoto County along the Peace River and also at the Myakka River near the Myakka State Park there until Thursday, when we expect that to crest and go below flood stage as far as that goes. But no rainfall around right now. In the tropics, all is quiet, which is what we like. In fact, things are going to stay quiet, too, it looks like, until we get to the weekend. We may see an area of low pressure. One of the models hinting that a low pressure will develop here and then track to the northeast. There's a lot of uncertainty, though, in the models right now as to where that low may pop up, but it looks like we will still see an additional supply of tropical moisture our way beginning over the weekend and continuing to early part of next week. 83 right now. Dew point is at 76. We're looking at fair skies with that high temperature and the high dew point. It actually feels much warmer than 83 degrees out there. Winds out of the west-northwest. And with that west to northwesterly wind flow, we'll continue to see a heat index up near about 104 degrees in the afternoon. 93 the high today, 3 degrees shy of the record set in 2010. This morning's low was very warm, unseasonably warm at 80 degrees. And as far as rainfall goes, although not reporting any today, after midnight we did have some shower activity move through the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. Right now it's 81 in Tallahassee, 76 in Jacksonville, 82 now in Orlando, and around the area temperatures all into the low 80s and 87 degrees in Punta Gorda right now, 82 in Arcadia, and 81 degrees in Bradenton. Well, the RPM forecast model showing a few showers possible in the morning, as I mentioned, along that sea breeze front. And then most of the action will be inland in the afternoon and evening, pushing toward the east coast. There's a chance 1 or 2 of those lone showers may make it all the way over to the west coast late in the evening tomorrow, but that rain chance very small on Tuesday and Wednesday for that matter. Our rain chances will start to increase, though, as we move into Thursday and Friday, and especially over the weekend. Statewide, across the United States, temperatures into the 60s and even some 50s now in Toronto, 57 there, 76 now in Washington, 76 in Dallas, 58 degrees in Denver. The next low tide will be at 3:05 and a high tide at 9:14. Sunrise will be at 6:35 and sunset at 8:26. For boaters tomorrow, not much wind out there at all. Out of the west at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be running less than 2 feet. And mostly smooth on the bays and inland waters. The UV index will be high tomorrow for area beaches, and the water temperature very steamy, 85 degrees. As far as the forecast goes tonight, evening storms for the most part out in the Gulf, but otherwise partly cloudy and muggy, 75 for a low temperature and upper 70s well inland. And heat index tomorrow up near 100 to 104. We'll have partly cloudy skies, a 30% chance for an isolated thunderstorm and scattered storms, especially inland, a high near 91 degrees. West winds at 5 to 10. The extended forecast checks in like this. I mentioned a little bit better chance for rain on Thursday, and then for Friday, a 50% chance for scattered showers and storms. Some of that could be some moderate to heavy rainfall, and that's going to be the case over the weekend, too. Even for Father's Day, a pretty good bet to see some scattered storms through the weekend. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. A man wanted for a Sarasota burglary is arrested in Colorado. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office worked with the U.S. Marshal's Office to apprehend Gregory Miller. Detectives say he stole 2 safes containing more than $200,000 from a victim who he was formerly employed by. Miller was found on Sunday hiding in a hotel room in Adams County, Colorado. He is awaiting extradition to Florida, facing a single charge of burglary of a dwelling. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies are looking for 2 teens suspected of an attempted robbery. The incident happened around 6:30 this evening in the 4000 block of Bee Ridge Road. That's where a number of businesses are located. Authorities say the suspect showed the victim that they had a handgun and demanded money, and a gunshot was heard before the suspects fled east. No injuries were reported. You are asked to call the Sheriff's Office or Sarasota County Crime Stoppers if you have any information. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is announcing that it plans to open a new children's clinic in Northport. SMH and Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital have been working together for months on this clinic to provide better care for children and teens. The new pediatric specialty outpatient care clinic will be located on the 2nd floor of the Sarasota Emergency Room and Healthcare Center on Toledo Blade Boulevard. It will offer specialized care for children. The city of Northport has more than 10,000 school-age children, and SMH says this is a great start in addressing pediatric needs in the area.
It's got a median age that is right for children's services and younger services as opposed to some of the rest of the county. And we're very much looking at putting the right services into the various geographic areas.
The children's clinic is scheduled to open in early 2017. Sarasota County officials have been waiting 3 years to celebrate the completion of the South Siesta Key Renourishment Project. The project, which is the second of 2 phases, added more than 1 million tons of sand that was dredged from 3 areas along 2 miles of shoreline. The added sand will help protect public and private property from erosion and storms in areas at and next to Turtle Beach. County officials say fortunately Tropical Storm Colin did not cause much damage to the project.
Mother Nature takes care of the shaping of the seaward portion of the project. So we knew we were going to have some that was going to visually disappear, but the storm itself really didn't cause that much more erosion.
The $21.5 million project was funded primarily by tourist development tax funds, as well as a state beach grant and assessment of Gulfront homes near the project area. The county hopes another renourishment project will not be needed for about 10 years. Sports is next, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
It's game night, and we're all playing very hard.
Mike's pants made me uncomfortable. They were like right here. It was like a slack. Who wears a slack? Right here.
Michael Jordan, that's who.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our Sarasota office. And don't forget to watch the House to Home Show every Saturday night here on ABC 7. It's simple. We just market your home better.
On the Suncoast.
And across America, the news you care about
is on your Suncoast News at 5.
And ABC World News Tonight at 6:30.
People you trust. Scott Dennis, Haley Wilkes, David Muir.
First, the Suncoast.
And then the world.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good.
Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Now, sports.
To Game 6 we go. The Cavaliers went into Golden State, giving the Warriors all they could handle in this elimination game. It was a close game throughout, but Cleveland ultimately pulled away in the end to win Game 5, 112-97. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving scored 41 points apiece, and the Cavs force a Game 6 back in Cleveland. That will be Thursday night at 9 o'clock, so you know the drill. This newscast will be on late Thursday after the game. It was a celebration in Pittsburgh late last night, even though Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final was in San Jose. The Penguins are the Stanley Cup champions once again. Last night's victory against the Sharks gave the Pens their 4th Stanley Cup in franchise history. The last one was in 2009. Sidney Crosby was with the team back in 2009, but this time around he was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy, which goes to the playoff MVP.
Having won 7 years ago, at a young age, you probably take it for granted a little bit. You don't think you do at the time, but it's not easy to get to this point. So I think just try to enjoy it as best I can.
To have the opportunity to work with this team and this group of players, I'm really grateful and obviously thrilled to have the opportunity to win this.
There will be a parade in downtown Pittsburgh on Wednesday in celebration of the big victory. Florida's biggest sports rivalry played out in Gainesville tonight. FSU versus UF in the baseball super regional. This was Game 3, and the Gators and Noles split the first 2 games, so it's a win and advance to the World Cup Series, the College World Series, it's late, or lose and go home. And this was all UF in this one. They shut out the Noles 7-0. J.J. Schwartz accounted for 5 of those runs, including a grand slam. The Gators will head to the World Series. The University of Miami also clinched a spot. An off day for the Rays as they get set to continue their homestand tomorrow when the Seattle Mariners come to town. The Rays remain in last place in the AL East, but not by much after going 7-3 in their last 10 games. And in theory, their pitching staff should get a boost this week. Top prospect Blake Snell is being called up from AAA to join the starting rotation. He did make one start for the big league team earlier this season, giving up 1 run in 5 innings. With Snell joining the starting rotation, Matt Andriese will move to the bullpen. Longtime University of Florida athletic director Jeremy Foley is retiring. He will officially step down on October 1st. He's been with the Gators for 40 years, starting in the ticket office and eventually taking over as AD in 1992. Congrats to him. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's lotto numbers straight ahead.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our Sarasota office. And don't forget to watch the House to Home Show every Saturday night here on ABC 7. It's simple. We just market your home better.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
The home at 14 Green Street. The showing. The butterflies. The papers. The crunching of numbers. The offer, the counter, the poker face, the impasse. Finding the happy place. The compromise. The closing of loopholes, the ironing of wrinkles, the signing, the shake, no, the hug. The sign of a RE/MAX agent.
Dogs versus cats. It's a long-standing rivalry in the animal kingdom. But what you see in this next story may just surprise you and will most certainly warm your heart. Jeannie Mose explains.
In this case, the scaredy cat is a dog. Meet Red, the pit bull mix, tiptoeing past a door because of this. Yes, Harley the cat is behind the door. That Red the pit bull can barely bring himself to walk past. Red is a shelter dog up for adoption from Pound Hounds Rescue. You can hear his foster owner urging him to man up. Come on. But Red seems paralyzed. Foster owner Carrie Woodward told us the cat has growled and swatted at the pit bull. Animal behavior expert Bash Debra calls Harley an alpha cat, and Red has invaded her turf. This isn't the way it's supposed to be, according to cartoons. We'll be back. A bulldog turned Sylvester into a trembling wreck, and a canine caused Claude the cat to end up plastered on the ceiling. Red the pit bull is said to suffer from separation anxiety. He sure seems anxious not to be separated from that burger. The tiptoeing pit bull went viral, leading to global fame. Red's adoption profile says he knows the commands sit, lay down, and stay, but the command of the day is tiptoe. Jeannie Mose, New York.
He's so afraid of that cat. That's like one of my dogs.
Yeah.
When one is in a bad, the alpha dog, when she's in a bad mood, the other one, she like is quite like, I don't want to bother her.
I don't want to mess around,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I
They
want to get
know.
the cat with the dog adoption. That'd be kind of neat, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe kinda
Very
watch
cute.
it. I don't
Very
know.
cute.
Dog
Nice
days
way
of
to-
summer tomorrow again. Highs in the low 90s.
No kidding, in that heat index.
Oh, yeah.
100 and up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Have a good morning. We'll see you in a few hours.